All right, Ben, our educational management exam is right around the corner. We've got a ton to cover. You ready to get this study session going and just break it all down?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. I think the best place to start is with a big question that's kind of at the heart of everything we've been studying. What actually makes a school great? I mean, it's so easy to just say it's about the nice buildings or the smartest kids, but we both know it's way, way deeper than that.
Exactly. And looking at our notes, it really feels like the whole exam is going to boil down to these three big areas. You've got the legal framework, the rules. Then you have the actual real world crises happening in the classroom. And finally, the thing that holds it all together or lets it all fall apart, leadership. Let's just tackle them one by one.
Okay, first up, the rules of the game. This makes total sense. If we want to understand why things go wrong, we have to start with how they're supposed to work according to the law, right? This is the foundation for everything else.
Yeah, and this table here is super useful for that. It shows how the South African Schools Act, that's SASA, gives every single person a specific job. The principal runs the day-to-day, educators obviously teach, and the school governing body, the SGB, which includes parents, gets to set huge policies like language and admissions. Even parents have a legal duty to get their kids to school. It's like a whole ecosystem where everyone is supposed to be accountable.
And this is where the law stops being just text on a page and gets real. The Pillai Node stud case is the classic example, right? It shows that the Constitution is the ultimate boss. A school's code of conduct can't just be whatever the SGB feels like. It has to respect the constitutional rights of learners. I mean, this case proved that one tiny piece of jewelry could stand for this massive legal principle about culture and religion in our schools.
Okay, so that's the ideal legal framework. That's the rule book. But what happens when that system just completely breaks down in the real world? Well, that brings us straight to the harsh reality, Section 2, the crisis happening right inside the classroom. And this number, it's just staggering, 81%. According to that big international reading study, PIRLS, 81% of grade 4 learners in South Africa cannot read for meaning. That's not just a statistic, that's a full-blown catastrophe for foundational learning. This is the reality we're dealing with. And if you're asking yourself, how is that even possible? Well, this number is a huge piece of the puzzle. It's directly connected. There are over 5,000 teachers in the system right now who are either unqualified or underqualified. You just can't get good reading outcomes if the people leading the classrooms haven't been given the right tools for the job. And this slide basically diagnoses that exact problem. Look at the challenges side. Teacher training is all over the place, there's no national standard, supervision in the classroom is weak, and what they learn at university is totally disconnected from the reality of a packed classroom. But look at the solution side. The answers are right there in our notes. We need way stronger mentorship, a single national curriculum for training, and a mandatory induction period to bridge that gap between theory and practice.
Okay, so the system is flawed and the classrooms are in crisis. So where do we even begin to look for a solution? Well, that leads us straight to Section 3, leadership. Our notes make it crystal clear that a fantastic principal can literally change everything. And the leader's number one tool for change is shaping the school's culture. I love this definition right here. Culture is just the school's personality. It's the vibe. It's that feeling you get the second you walk through the gates. Is this a place of respect and high expectations? Or is it a place of chaos? The principal is the chief architect of that whole feeling.
Ooh, the iceberg analogy. This is 100% going to be on the exam. It's perfect. Because what you see on the surface, the official rules, the mission statement on the wall, that's just the tip. The real power, the massive part of the iceberg hidden underwater, is all the invisible stuff. The shared values, the trust between teachers, the quality of relationships. That's the stuff that really steers the whole ship.
So how does a leader actually build that strong foundation underwater? The Harvard framework gives them a practical toolkit. It's not about being some kind of magical, charismatic person. It's about being intentional, right? Focusing on these 6 things, constantly reinforcing the school's purpose, building strong relationships, telling positive stories, using symbols and routines to create a real identity, and even choosing the right words to build people up. And that leads us perfectly into our final section for the study sesh. How do you take all these big ideas, the law, leadership, culture, and turn them into an actual concrete plan? This part is all about having a blueprint for getting better all the time.
Yeah, and it's so clear from the notes that developing your staff isn't just about sending them to some random workshop once a year. It has to be a real strategy with a bunch of different parts.
You need strong mentoring for new teachers, you need collaborative groups where they can solve problems together, and you need to build a culture where people are constantly thinking about their own practice. It's all about building that capacity from the inside.
Yes, and this slide here connects all the dots. A great school isn't just reacting to things, it plans. It starts with the school development plan, the SDP, which sets the big picture goals. Then it looks at what skills the staff actually need to meet those goals. And only then does it roll out targeted professional development, the CPTD. It's a strategic cycle, not just a bunch of random events.
Okay, let's do a rapid-fire recap. The key takeaways for the exam. Number 1. The laws are the foundation. They give us the structure. But without a strong leader who can apply those laws in the messy, real world, they're just words on a page.
Takeaway number 2. Never, ever underestimate culture. That invisible vibe of a school, the trust, the expectations, it has a very real, very visible impact on everything from test scores to whether your best teachers decide to stay or leave.
And finally, takeaway 3. The best schools are proactive, not reactive. They are not just running around putting out fires. They have a living, breathing school development plan that guides every single thing they do, making sure they are always, always moving forward. So, to wrap this all up, here's a final thought exercise for us. Based on everything we've just covered, if you were handed the keys to a school for just one day, what's the very first, most impactful thing you would do to start changing its culture? I think that's where all this theory really becomes practice.